Hey guys, it's Ithlor. Wanted to talk about the Wave of Light skill, which is an extremely powerful, high damage skill, although the spirit cost is insane. So it costs 75 spirit, so if you're using the normal amount of spirit that you have, you can only cast this thing twice. If you want any other buffs, then you may not be able to cast it at all. So it is, like I said, an extremely powerful skill, but one that you really need to be careful of when you use it so that you can be able to use it properly. In addition to being careful when you use it, it is also one of those skills that is difficult to place, at least with the base skill. There are a couple of runes that make it a little easier, but it's a challenging skill to utilize. It's a skill that I don't use very often, so I have some difficulties aiming it properly as well. But let's take a look at it. We've got an elite pack here. So what this skill does is it's a double damage. It produces the 390% weapon damage initially, and then it produces 45 weapon damage. It shoots out a small ray of light, which produces an additional 45% weapon damage. So, like I said, a strong spell as far as the amount of damage that it takes, or that it deals, but the 75 spirit cost is pretty difficult to swallow. But that was a relatively, or was an elite pack anyways, that I was able to take out fairly easily as a result of using the skill. So it's a good base skill, but the first rune increases the damage significantly. So the first rune choice is Wall of Light, which changes the damage from 390% to 566%, and you still get the additional damage as well. So a huge increase in damage, and so this is an extremely powerful skill. But again, you still have the same issue with the spirit cost. And so now that I've used most of my buffs, I don't have any spirit to use the skills. So that's why I was indicating earlier that although it's a really powerful skill, you still need to be careful, because you basically have to make the decision of, do you want your buffs and the damage that provides, or do you want the additional weapon damage that Wall of Light or Wave of Light provides. So let's go to another crypt, and we'll check out this rune a little bit more before switching it up. So I'm just going to use this once or twice now that I've got a little bit more spirit, and then, like I said, we will switch up the runes. So when I said it's a little difficult to aim, what I meant is that it has a short range. You're basically placing it right in front of you, and so there's not a lot of flexibility to where you want to put the thing. Although if you were in hand-to-hand combat, which is what the monk usually is, that's normally not an issue. It's just remembering that you don't have a lot of options of where the skill is going to be. Another disadvantage of this skill is because of the huge amount of damage that it produces. Reflex damage packs can be pretty tricky and pretty challenging. So let me get some more spirit, and then we'll take out these guys again. And luckily for me, they're stuck because they're so fat that they can't move until I moved them. So that is the first turn choice. Let's go to town and we will get the next one. The next turn choice is the one that I like, and the reason being is because explosive light, the light now radiates directly from you, and so it is now a much larger area and range that this thing covers, and you're able to damage pretty much anybody in the area. So what you want to do is you want to stand right in the middle and take them out. So this is a very, very effective mob skill, although it loses some of its effectiveness when you're dealing with single enemies. It is 430% weapon damage, so it's still a great deal of weapon damage, and so now would be a good opportunity to use it, as I've got a bunch of guys around me. So again, this is my favorite out of all the runes, and it's the favorite of most people's. This is the most popular rune choice, but it does become less effective when dealing with bosses or single enemies. The next rune choice I'm not going to show you what it does. Let's go to town and switch things up. But the next rune choice reduces the spirit cost to 40. So this is extremely powerful, and the reason I say that is because Wall of Light costs 75 and does 566% weapon damage. Empowered Wave reduces the cost by almost half and continues to do the base amount of damage. So you actually do more damage per spirit with this skill. Some of the other advantages are you can cast it with much less spirit. So initially, when I was trying to cast this skill, I ran out of spirit and wasn't able to cast it. Since it's got the reduced cost, you can cast it a lot more often. Blinding Light is the next one. This is a difficult skill to show because the amount of damage that is done to enemies, I usually kill them on any critical hit because I do about 100,000 damage. So what this skill does is for any critical hit that you get while using Wave of Light, it stuns the enemy for 3 seconds. So let me go in here, and I'll see, based on the first elite pack that I can find, if we can show this out. If I can't get it after one pack, then we're just going to go on to the next one. It is effective, it does work fairly well, but like I said, unless you're playing with a higher monster power, it's kind of a pointless skill, because the only time it is effective is against elites. And if I can't find an elite pack very shortly, then I'm just going to go on anyways. There we go. So that didn't yield any success.
This fight is over.
And I missed him on that try. So I'm not having a whole lot of success here. And that one didn't provide any success.
Not enough spirit. My injuries are less severe.
So, unfortunately I wasn't able to show you that one, and I'm not going to search for another elite pack. But, like I said, it is effective, it does have a 3-second stun, but really the only time that it's beneficial is on high monster powers or against elites. Pillar of the Ancients is another skill that I'm not a fan of, I don't recommend, or another rune choice that I don't recommend. It still has the short range ability to it, but what it does, it increases the area of the effect, which is the benefit to it, but it's a 2-tiered system. It produces 280% weapon damage initially, and then after about 3 seconds, then it strikes again. and in the same area does another 280% weapon damage. So you get a total of 560% weapon damage, as can be seen there. But you've got to keep the enemies within the same area and range. And so if you're not good at aiming, or you forget about the distance for Wave of Light, then sure, this can be effective because at least you got 1 out of 2 chances of getting the damage. But overall, if you are using this for single enemies and short distances, it's not a good rune choice. There's really not a whole lot of benefit to it other than the fact that it's got the increased area. So anyways, guys, any questions or comments, please leave them below. And if you like the content, please subscribe.